Okay, so this is the blanket that we're going to be making in this video. And here's the border. So this is the Stars and Stripes Patriotic Throw. Okay, so these are the beautiful patriotic squares that we are going to be making. They are 7.5 by 7.5. You're going to need an 8, just a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. You're going to need a yarn needle, a pair of scissors, and the yarn that I'm using for this is Big Twist. It's a medium 4-weight yarn, 100% acrylic. It's Varsity Red. The blue is Varsity Blue. And the white is just white. So those are the 3 colors. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started on this patriotic square. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is create a magic ring. Just like that. Now we're going to work 10 single crochets in this ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Take that strand of yarn and we're going to pull to tighten it. Close it up. Now we're going to slip stitch into that first single crochet. Now we're going to start our first point. We're going to have 5 points. So you're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you're going to work down the chain here. So turn this, and in this, not this stitch, but the second stitch from the hook. So that's 1, 2. Work a slip stitch. So just insert your hook, grab the yarn, pull through. There we go, pull through. That was a slip stitch. Now in this next stitch, we're going to work a single crochet. Like that. And in the next stitch, we're going to work a half double crochet. Next stitch, it's right there. We're going to work a double crochet. Okay, so now you're going to skip this stitch and you're going to slip stitch into this stitch. Skip this one and and slip stitch in this stitch. Now it looks like that. Chain 5. And we're going to repeat that same process. Skip that first stitch there, that first chain that's on the hook. It'd be the second chain from the hook. Slip stitch. Single crochet in the next stitch. Half double crochet in the next stitch. Double crochet in the last stitch. Okay, so now you have 2 of these made. So skip this stitch right here, and then we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. There you go. So now you have 2 points, and you're going to have 5 total points. So chain 5. slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, single crochet in the next stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the last stitch. There you go. Skip this next stitch, slip stitch into the next stitch. So now you have 3 points. Chain 5. Okay. Skip the first chain and the second chain, slip stitch, single crochet the next stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch, and double crochet in the last stitch. Okay, so now you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip this stitch and slip stitch in this stitch. Okay, now our last point, chain 5. Now working back down the chain, slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, single crochet in the next stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch, and double crochet in the last stitch. There we go. Okay, so skip a stitch, slip stitch in the next stitch. And now you have all 5 points. Okay, so at this point we are going to take our scissors and we're going to fasten off a strand of yarn so that you can attach this to your square. That long strand. And then I go to the back because we've got to tie that off. So I go to the back and tie a knot. Gonna fasten it off there. Now this will be tucked inside when you crochet that on. Like this right here. See? Okay, so now let's start crocheting our square. So we're going to use red and white yarn for that. So set your star to the side. Oh yeah, it's going to show this. And don't forget, you can have blue and white stripes with red star, and you can have red and white stripes with blue star. So we're going to have a magic ring, just like we did. And if you're uncomfortable doing a magic ring, you can chain 4 and slip stitch to the first chain to join them. Okay, so let's make our magic ring. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is chain 3. That's a double crochet, it represents a double crochet. 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 2, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 sets. We need one more set of 3 double crochets together. So it's 1, 2, and 3, chain 2. Okay, so take that strand of yarn, pull to tighten. Okay, so now you have 3 double crochets, 3 double crochets, 3 double crochets, and 3 double crochets in your chain 2. We are going to slip stitch into the first double crochet, and we're going to slip stitch into the second, and we're going to slip stitch into the first one, grab our yarn, and we're going to add our red yarn. Just like that. Okay, so in this hole, you're going to double crochet, and if you want, you can come back here and you can take and tie this in the back. Okay, so we have 1. Try not to catch your white yarn back there. 2, and 3. So we have 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 more double crochets. It's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we're going to work over here. 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 3 more double crochets. It's 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to work in this chain 2 space, 3 double crochets. It's 1, 2, and 3. Now chain 1, 3 more double crochets in that same space. 1, 2, and 3. Now come over here, work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to carry our yarn. We're not going to cut off, and this is the way it's going to look on the back side. Like this. This is where you carry. If you're uncomfortable having that on your back side, then you just need to cut your yarn after each row and then weave it in. But I'm not cutting mine. I'm just letting mine go like that. Okay, so now we need to slip stitch to the first stitch over there. In our center. But don't, just hold it like this. Let go of it back here. I think I'm holding it with my finger. There you go. Take your white yarn, pull it through, and there's your hole. Do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now this is where the fun starts. You're going to work 1 double crochet in between these clusters here. So 1 double crochet. Okay, so your next double crochet is going to be in the second stitch. See, there is a 3rd stitch there. 1, 2, 3, and it's going to be in the second stitch right there. So you're going to work a double crochet in the stitch down here. So grab your yarn, insert it through that stitch, pull it all the way through, grab the yarn, and you're going to extend up like this, and then go follow through just like a regular double crochet, but it's like an extended double crochet. Okay, so in that space you need to put a regular double crochet in there, and that fills in that gap. You're going to fill in these gaps is what you're doing. Okay, so now let's move over to that chain 1 space, and we're going to work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to work in this space here. 1 double crochet, 1 extended double crochet. Grab your yarn, insert your hook in that second stitch, grab your yarn, pull through, pull up, and finish out your double crochet. Now in that same space, a regular double crochet. Okay, so now in your chain 1 space over here in the corner, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so in this space, 1 double crochet, 1 extended double crochet. So put your hook in this second stitch down there, pull up, and finish your double crochet. And then 1 more double crochet in that same space there. Okay, so back to the corner again in the chain 1 space, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1, 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and in this space right here, 1 double crochet and 1 extended double crochet and 1 double crochet. Okay, that's what you have so far. So let's slip stitch across here, and then now you're in that chain 1 space. So now we're going to grab our red yarn like that, let go of the white, and work a double crochet, and then 2 more double crochets. Now, and then chain 1. This is a repeat, and you're going to do this for 7 rows total. So let me show you this again. We have 2 spaces to work in, and as this gets bigger, you'll get more spaces. So let's work a double crochet in that space between the clusters, and that extended double crochet, and a double crochet. And you just keep doing this same pattern. Double crochet, extended double crochet, and double crochet. Okay, so we're on row 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That means for right here, we are right here on the pattern. We're on the red, and as soon as we finish the red, we're going to do white, and then we're going to do red again, and then white again. So we're going to have a total of 7 rows. So I will meet you back when you finish your 7th row of the white. And don't forget, when you get to the end, you'll join, fasten off, and then just weave the yarn in the back. And what I do back here is I tie these 2 together. So I'll meet you back here, and when you finish row 7, and like I said, you will end with white. So now that you're done, just slip stitch into the next stitch like that. Pull it through. I've gone ahead and cut mine off, and I've cut my red yarn off. So you need to flip it over, and I've tied these 2 together, and then I cut it. And you can weave these in, or you can tie the 2 colors together. Tie a knot. All right, and you can cut them like that, or you can weave them in, whichever is better for you. Okay, so now that we have this, we are going to place our star in the middle here. So we need to yarn onto a yarn needle. We're just going to center this on here like this, and we're just going to stitch it Okay, so now you got your star on here, and just weave this back through. Like that. And go ahead and fasten it off. All right, there's your square. Okay, thank you guys for watching this tutorial. I hope you enjoy this. Please like, comment, and share this tutorial. I actually am going to be making another video in about a month of showing how to combine these into a blanket, because this is going to be a crochet along, or you can just make the squares for yourself, to do whatever you want to do with them. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, so now we're going to attach our squares, and this is how you do it. Here is some that are already attached. I have like 2 rows, so I'll show you how easy this is. So now you take 2 squares and you place them on top of each other, front to front. Now, if you want, you can put some fabric clips on here to hold these. If you want, you don't have to. Okay, so let's start by taking a strand of your white yarn and a yarn needle, and we are going to weave this in. And then come back through. There we go. Now, what I like to do on this is I like to match. I take my fingers and I go through the hose to make sure that the hose are matching up like this. Okay, so I'm going to do my yarn needle in that one more time like that, just sort of be straight up. Okay, and then just go through both loops. Just like that, all the way across. Now, like I said, I like to make sure my finger is in the hose to help keep it lined up. See, I'm just going through all 4 loops. And you can actually attach these however you want. This is just the way that I'm doing it. If you attach through just the top 2 loops like this, then you will have a ridge on the front side. And that's why I'm doing all 4, because I don't want a ridge on mine. But if you want a ridge on yours, you can. I've actually done some that have a ridge. And just work your way all the way across. And like I said, I like to keep my fingers in these holes to make sure that they are lined up. Just like that. Okay, so now we down to our last bit right here. Okay, so now you just need to take your yarn and weave this in. And just like that. And there you go. Now you've got it attached. Now let's go ahead and attach this to, attach it by the row. And it's basically the same thing. You just attach it to the row and going across. All right, so first of all, you want to make sure that if you have a blue square here, that you have a red square here. So you're going to attach them like that. So what you need to do is flip this over. That way you're front to front. And you can take a yarn, you can take a fabric clip and attach this. Right here you're going to attach where the seams are. And I like to use a fabric clip for that. So see, it kind of keeps the squares nice and straight. So I've gone ahead and threaded my yarn needle. And I've attached it to the back side. And so now, like I said, just take your fingers and make sure you got the holes. So you're basically doing the same thing as you did on your other squares, single squares. And you're just doing this all the way across. That's very important that your holes line up. Okay, continue keeping those holes straight. Okay, you can remove your fabric clip. And once again, you need to make sure these holes are straight. And then just seam right across. Like that, and just keep going. And that's really all there is to it. And now you'll have another row, just like that. Just make sure you've got your colors lined up between one square blue and then red, and just, you know, make sure that they're lined up. I hope this helps you guys of joining your squares. Okay, so this is the border that we're going to be putting on the blanket. And it's going to have 3 rows. That's all you need to do. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Okay, so now we're going to start on the border. And so you'll need your same H 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. And we're going to start with red. And all we're going to do is single crochet in each stitch. So I'm just going to start like right in here just a single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So that's how I start mine. And then I work a single crochet. And then when we get to the corner space, so it's just a single crochet in each stitch. When you get to the corner here, we are going to put 2 single crochets in the corner space, like that. So continue working a single crochet all the way around on all 4 sides. And when you get to your spaces right here, just work 2 single crochets in that space right there. Okay, I'll meet you when you get to all the way around back up here. And then we're going to change colors to the white. Okay, so I just finished my last single crochet. Now we are going to slip stitch into the next stitch, or the first stitch, and we're going to take this white yarn and pull this through. And I've already cut off my red yarn. Chain 1, and we're going to work a single crochet in that first stitch. So now what we're going to do all the way across is we're going to do our single crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, and we're going to repeat this pattern. Skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, and I'll show you what we're going to do when we get to the corner stitch. So skip a stitch, single crochet. Okay, when we get to this corner stitch, we're going to, now you may have a stitch, go ahead and chain 1. You may have a stitch you can skip, and if you don't worry about it. Just go ahead and single crochet in the corner stitch, chain 1, and single crochet in the same stitch. So in your corner stitch you have a single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet. So you're going to continue that same pattern all the way around. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet in the next stitch. So just keep repeating this all the way around. When you get to a corner stitch, do a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch, and I will meet you back here. Okay, so now we're finished. I went ahead and cut my yarn off. I did a chain 1. We're going to slip stitch into that first stitch, and we're going to grab our new yarn, which is the blue, and finish our slip stitch. Okay, so now we're going to chain 2. We're going to skip this first stitch, and in this stitch we're going to do a spike half double crochet. Skip this stitch, this first single crochet. So we're going to yarn over and insert our hook in this stitch right here, one stitch below in the red. Grab our yarn, pull through, and pull it up to the level of these other two. Yarn over and pull through all three, like that. So now we are going to chain one, skip the next stitch, and we're going to do a spiked half double crochet again. So yarn over, insert our hook into the row below, yarn over, pull through, and pull it up, yarn over, pull through all three loops, and then chain one, and then skip the next stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch below, pull it up to the height, yarn over, pull through all three. Okay, and it should be looking like this right here. Chain one, skip the next stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch below, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all three stitches or loops through all three loops. Chain one, skip the next stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch below, grab your yarn, pull through, yarn over, pull through all three loops. Chain one, skip the next stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch below, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all three loops. Chain one, and this is what it's looking like right now. Okay, skip the next stitch, yarn over, insert your hook to the stitch below, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all three loops. Chain one. Now we're in the corner space. So in our corner space, we are going to, we did our chain one. We're going to skip the first single crochet. We're going to single crochet in this space, chain one space, and then we're going to chain one and then single crochet again in that same chain one space. Continue our pattern. Chain one, skip this single crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch below, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all three loops. Chain one. You're going to continue that. Skip the next stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch below, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all three loops. Chain one. You're going to continue that all the way around, and don't forget when you get to your corner space, it is a single crochet, chain one, single crochet in that space. So I will meet you back here. Okay, so I just finished my chain one. There's a space there. I'm just going to slip stitch. Just going to slip stitch into the top of the chain two. There we go. And I did cut my yarn off already. Okay, so I'm just going to pull it through. Okay, so just go ahead and slip stitch into the top of the chain two. And I've already fastened my yarn off. So just thread your yarn needle and turn it to the back side and just weave in all of your different colors of yarn that you have. Okay, that's all you need to do.